All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Romper Room. This is the after party for the Tex Watson Psychiatry Reports live stream we did last week. We're going to take this week off, get ready for the drug burn theory live stream, kind of lay out the actual sequence of events for the goings on of CLO Drive on August 8th, 1969. And we're kind of laying the groundwork for the John Lennon and Jimi Hendrix live streams that we're going to be doing. A lot of good stuff happening. And like I said, go over to Nancy's page, give it a like. We'll have some more stuff going on over here on this page as well. Give it a like and subscribe. We'll see you all not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Be safe.
Always is always forever. 'Cause one is one is one. Look inside yourself for your father. All is none, all is none, all is one. Time to talk time from behind you. The illusion has been just a dream. The valley of death and I'll find you. Now is when on a sunshine beam. So bring only your perfection. For there will surely be no cold, pain, fear, or hunger. You can't see, you can't see, you can't see.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing a stream in the future. I was going to ask you to on this after show, actually. I want to do a stream about drug ban theory because I've never done a stream where I formally say exactly what drug ban theory is. And Capone, me and you for years in the chat, I've been talking about the second man, the team, the two-team theory, that there's more than one person, there was more people involved. I'll read out the presentation and then I can add you two and we can all give commentary on that.
Yeah,
basically.
didn't I'm all about it. Didn't
Yeah.
didn't Manson tell Newell Emmons too that he had went back to the house?
Yes, several people. He's told Nicholas Schreck as well. He told a couple of Ed Sanders. He said it too as well. Every author that fucking interviewed him basically admitted he went back. But a lot of people still will never believe it, no matter what. But yeah, I can believe he would to do damage limitation because he knew it was going to come back to him. So he was going to try and do whatever he could to try and throw the police off getting them.
Sure.
And also, I don't think he could believe they'd done it as well. I think he had to go and see it for himself. I don't believe he did order them to kill everyone. I think
they went there and looked through the house for the drugs and also got all the porno tapes.
Yeah, well, half of Hollywood potentially could have been up there, couldn't they? Because in the sound reports, there's that lad who was writing letters and he had his windows open, and he heard a load of voices shouting and then a gunshot. So as if there was a load of people arguing and someone fired a gun into the air to shut everyone up, sort of thing. So that sounds like there was more than just Charles Manson and someone else, doesn't it? There was a whole bunch of people there and everyone was arguing, it sounds like, doesn't it? Yeah.
And all the different...
and wasn't that way later, too, like in the night?
Wasn't that's like
about
3, 4 a.m. That's getting close to 4 a.m. when the woman screaming is heard. And the police comment, oh no, we just got a woman screaming in that area report. Yep. It says in the police report, yeah.
Yeah, different reports have different timelines. And there are people that are like, 3, 4 in the morning had called in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely something worth exploring,
And there's a bit in the police report because it's the progress report. It's the homicide progress report, but they give their 2 or 3 theories for what was going on, and one of them includes there being 2 men as well as women, and that's where we're basing our,
It only makes sense too that the official narrative just doesn't check out. For a lot of reasons. One, there's reports that Mama Cass had went back.
Everyone is assuming that the woman screaming was Mama Cass as well at 4 a.m.
Yeah, there you go.
When she saw them. Yeah.
And I better get in the comments.
Yeah.
What everybody's saying.
Yeah, Susan's attorney said this as well. 2 men that entered the house. Yes, I've seen that. It's in a fucking it's in a newspaper report. I think he fucked up somehow. He shouldn't have said it, but he said, yeah, it's Caballero said it. I remember that. Yeah, because it's in a newspaper article or something.
Well, and last
Yeah,
week we kind of touched on that as well with
yeah,
Frykowski's a bigger guy, for a
yeah.
Polish guy anyway, fought really hard for his life. Jay, not so big, but
He was more streetwise than you think as well. Just because he was a hairdresser doesn't mean he was
sure.
effeminate. He came up from the
Well,
streets, so he would have
he
been able to fight back a
took
bit.
kung fu lessons from Bruce
Yeah,
Lee too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, and so that also makes sense about them maybe dragging the bodies out. And I think Jay, when you look at the blood evidence, I think Jay was out on the porch and bled out on the porch in those bushes.
yeah,
Oh, for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah,
So, and that would have taken a couple guys to drag those bodies around the way that the
yeah.
blood evidence shows that it happened.
Yeah, well, it's clear someone bled to death on the porch, innit? That ain't just a bit of splatter as someone staggered over the porch, is it? Which is what Bugliosi tries to tell us it is. They say, oh, that blood is just from Frykowski.
Well,
But
from what I understand, the rope and everything going over the
mm,
rafters and all that was secondary, was after
yeah,
everybody had left the first time.
there is something. There is some blood found on the rope as well. Have you seen that? There's photographs of the blood on the rope. I don't know if they've ever identified whose blood it was on the rope as well and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, I'm not familiar with that, but
And the
uh,
glasses, the red herring glasses that were left behind.
Yeah, and that's supposed
Charles
to
Manson left
Manson is
us.
supposed to have planted them. Yeah, yeah, the glasses. Yeah.
It says Charlie and Clem went back to stage the scene after the murders. Yeah, and also get all the porn and sweep the house for drugs and
Yeah.
money.
I think Clem as well is most likely. Yeah. I think
Sure.
it to be, and apparently I've got to see where and when he bloody said this, but Clem is supposed to have said something about the condition of the bodies at CLA Drive that he couldn't have known unless he'd been there, basically, and that's why people say it was possibly Clem.
James Watson says, I don't see how you can move the bodies without stepping in all that blood, not leaving bloody shoe prints. I don't know if they were even wearing shoes.
There's a footprint of Susan's, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The bare footprint.
that's the thing.
Just stand back because the blood on the porch as well. Remember, that's under his body, so they lift his body up and walk backwards with him or whatever. You know what I mean? So they don't have to. That the blood would have been under his body. It wasn't just all over the place. They could have avoided stepping on it if they were careful. You know.
And LAPD did a piss poor job documenting evidence. Let's just get on top of that right now.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. Well, there's some blood they just said assumed same source, and they didn't test it all and stuff like that. You know. So like that's why everyone questions the blood evidence, but they're lying about something, aren't they? That pool of blood on the porch is not just blood splatter from Frykowski staggering over the porch as he runs out the door, is it?
Yeah, and then remember with the thing with the multiple teams of guys, if Parent and Garrettson were in on it, they could have been moving around bodies too before Parent flipped out and they had to kill him.
Yeah.
for sure. Parent and Garrettson would have just been part of the roundup team that held everybody hostage because
We know Stephen Perrin had form for burglary as well now, and he likes stereos. And there was apparently a stereo in the house that they've kept the information back, but there was a stereo stolen, and it's never been officially said because it's one of the things they hold back. But Sharon Tate had a stereo, and I wondered, did that come from one of the shops Stephen Perrin worked at? Did he know that there was a stereo there? And we
Yeah,
know
wasn't
he
it
loved
a
stereo
hi-fi?
equipment. Yeah, a proper. It would have been a big cabinet thing in them days. Wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it was like a hi-fi machine.
Yeah.
And they never tell us what was in Parent's car because that's probably where it fucking was.
Yeah, or whatever, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
well, I don't think he got away with it that night.
Yeah.
Acid in the freezer, Valium in the bedroom, porn in the loft. So
Yeah.
that porn in the loft was the only tape found,
Mm.
and they had all the video recorders, video playback equipment, all
Yeah,
that
they
stuff
were
there.
too
It was the
busy getting
director's
spit
house.
roasted by Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah, by bloody Cary Grant. Yeah.
Cary Grant, yeah.
Yeah. Valium in the bedroom. I mean, that's not really what they were looking for either. So yeah, they were looking for the big score in them trunks. They were looking for what they thought what they were assuming was due to arrive that Polanski had sent over, but it had got seized in New Orleans.
in the police report, and we know, though it doesn't say it in the police report, from multiple press reports, we know that Witold Kachowski, the Witold K, as we know him, was terrified of the Canadians because he had lived with Pick Dawson and he thought it was the Canadians. So we know the stuff in the police report about him. It says Frykowski went to pick up a Canadian man from the airport to and he was interested in trying all the drugs on the known market, and he was going to buy MDA from this Canadian guy he was going to pick up from the airport, and that's in the police report.
Well,
and Hammer guy saying that they were all trained killers or whatever.
Yeah,
vicious people and trained killers.
Yeah, he suspected they were hired killers or something like that. He said, didn't he? Yeah.
I mean,
and also Angel, when I interviewed her, she said that she was in a car accident. She talks about a car accident, and the man was drunk driving, and he got away with it. Basically, he got a slap on the wrist. He didn't do any prison time. And another woman that was in the car with her had life-changing injuries. You know, it broke her spine, injured her for the rest of her life, sort of thing. And so she was pissed off about it. And Billy Doyle said, "Do you want me to get rid of him? Do you want me to make him disappear for you?" Like, and she thought about it because she was so angry that this guy had not got any penalty. But she said no. But Billy Doyle apparently offered to take this guy out for her. Yeah. So that is the type of people they were, you know. And you think that after what they did to him, he didn't want revenge. And he wouldn't have done. He was capable of it. Apparently, that's the scary thing. They were.
Oh, it looks like Mark Oliver just discovered Cary Grant's dick in the chat.
Yeah. Oh god, when he was on LSD, he saw himself as a giant dick flowing through space, didn't he? As well, that was one of his hallucinations. Cary Grant.
The ghost of Cary Grant's dick.
Yeah, flying through space. Woo! That was a mental picture I couldn't fucking forget. When I was reading about it, that was one of the things he saw when he was having LSD therapy. Himself as a giant penis flying through space.
He was British.
Yeah.
Trauma response.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
James, I mean,
you can still hear Cary Grant going, William, where are you?
Jeff Franklin, the creator of Full House, is there waiting for it.
I mean, Andy Dick's always wandering around Hollywood. They should have hooked up.
He hallucinated himself as a penis. That's what it actually says. So it, like, presumably his face was the head of it or whatever, you know, flying through space. Like, what the hell? My God.
Maybe, hopefully, he was just, his spirit was embodied in the shape of a...
Yeah.
Well, I've never considered that before, so... I've done a lot of acid, too, back in the day. I used to eat that shit all the time.
There's a short film I want to watch it, actually. It's Timothy Leary and Cary Grant tripping, when Cary Grant and Timothy Leary did LSD together for the first time. It doesn't look bad. It looks like it's quite well done and quite accurate. They've researched it well. It's on Amazon Prime. And it's called when when Cary Grant introduced Timothy Leary to LSD or something really obvious like that. Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh, and just I don't know if the person's here. He said they wanted to know what the name was, but this is Dweezil Zappa's name. I said it bloody last week, didn't I?
Oh yeah, what was his real name?
Yeah, what his real name is, right? And this is the story. The nurse pleaded and pleaded with us not to name the child Dweezil. Labour pains and all, she was going to make Gail stand there unless we gave her another name to put on the form. I couldn't see letting Gail suffer just to argue the point, so I rattled off an assortment of first names of guys we knew. Ian Underwood, Donald Van Vliet, that's Captain Beefheart, Calvin Schenkel, and Euclid James Motorhead Sherwood. As a result, Dweezil's original birth certificate name was Ian Donald Calvin Euclid Zappa. The nurse thought that was okay. In spite of this harrowing experience, we always called him Dweezil. He was 5 years old when he discovered the real names on his birth certificate. I was in my mid-20s when I found out. So this is presumably from Dweezil. It suddenly cuts to Dweezil. I was in my mid-20s when I found out. Up until the time I had to get a passport for the first European tour, I thought my name was Francis, a name I'd always hated. That's his dad's name, isn't it? It's Francis Jr. In order to get the passport, I had to present my birth certificate, a mysterious document I had never seen before. My mother mailed it to me from California, and on it, much to my delight, was a name other than Francis. Well, it wasn't that good. Frank isn't much of a bargain. But I had thought for years, even printing it out on album covers, that I was Francis Vincent Zappa Jr. How could I be such a fool? Which is a Zappa song, isn't it? Yeah. Dweezil was very upset and demanded that steps be taken to rectify this tragedy. We hired an attorney and had his name legally changed to Dweezil. So yeah, that's basically the story of what happened. But that makes me laugh that he thought his name was Francis Jr. He just thought he was Francis Jr. and he had actually signed that as his name and stuff. But his real name wasn't it was never Francis. Yeah. So and they're all different mothers basically, and Captain Beefheart basically he's named after, aren't they? Yeah.
Captain Beefheart. That
Yeah.
guy he was a weird one too.
Mm.
No, talking about Cary Grant introducing LSD to Timothy Leary, I wonder if Cary Grant's the
Yeah.
one who introduced it to Tex Watson too.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, well, it sounds like no, it's Dean Morehouse, isn't it? That's confirmed. Yeah, Dean Morehouse. Dean Morehouse gave Tex LSD for the first time, not Charles Manson.
But I wonder. I mean, they would have crossed paths at Rudy's, possibly. Dean and Cary Grant.
Cary Grant.
Yeah, and apparently Tex was a bouncer at the Whiskey A Go Go at some point as well. I've got to try and confirm when exactly to add it to the timeline.
Tex was a man of many hats.
Yeah. Wigs. Yeah.
Wigs. Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Whatever you paid him to wear, he'd wear it. Woo.
Yeah, he was mega into classical composing, wasn't he, Frank Zappa as well? He did do big classical albums and that, yeah. There was a 1700s composer named Francesco Zappa, and Frank did a whole album of his compositions, yeah.
Mark says he only learned last week that A Boy Named Sue was written by Shel Silverstein. All of Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show was written by Shel Silverstein too. So like Freaking at the Freakers Ball, Cover of the Rolling Stone, Acapulco.
Oh, what? And Sylvia's Mother. Who wrote Sylvia's Mother?
Yep.
That is that guy's, was it? Yeah, so I like that one.
Yep.
Well, they did sings it, because that's called mezzo, what he's doing there. He does it really well, yeah.
Shel didn't perform with Dr. Hook, but he wrote the songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get my rocks off.
Some men need some killer weed, some man need cocaine, some man need some cactus juice to purify the brain. Some men need to woman, some need alcohol. Everybody need a little something, but Lord, I need it all to get my rocks on. Get my rocks on. Off that mountain, roll 'em on down the hill.
Oh god, yeah. Cary Grant had given LSD to Hitchcock. I wonder if Hitchcock ever did it. We'll have to look into it. He probably did.
Man, Hitchcock's really straight, isn't he?
I don't think he was that straight. No, he was. But I never heard of him doing cannabis or out like that even. But I've never looked into it. I've never searched for that about him.
Well,
okay. He was a bit of a womanizer, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't his
more of a
whole thing,
womanizer
like,
than you'd expect. Yeah.
Yeah, Hitchcock was just all about banging the actresses.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See, I'm still easily susceptible. I'm like real naive and stuff, and I, looked at him as like a very erudite, upper crust British gentleman who was refined and didn't do things like us rogue, boorish Americans.
He was totally all about that. Yeah. That's
why
why they come to America. Charlie Chaplin as well. I couldn't believe when I found out about Charlie Chaplin. But he had like underage girlfriends and shit like that, and he was English as well, wasn't he? So I didn't even know he was English until I saw that film where he speaks. You hear his voice because most of his films are silent, weren't it?
Right.
Weren't they? But yeah, do you see that film where he makes the speech and he's dressed up? He's representing Hitler. The character he's playing is meant to represent Hitler, isn't it? And he does the Nuremberg speech, but it's like the reverse of the Nuremberg speech, a peaceful Nuremberg speech or whatever in it. But I was surprised he was English, yeah.
His granddaughter was on Game of Thrones.
Really?
Married Robb Stark.
Well, yeah.
Was Una Chaplin. That's his granddaughter or great granddaughter.
Because I know he had wives, didn't he? But yeah, there's some controversy with him having like underage girls and that as well, yeah.
Mark
But-
Googled Dr. Hook. He says Sylvia's mother was a
Chapman.
true story that happened to Shell.
Oh, it really happened, did it? Oh. Yeah.
Now, Hollywood creating a new morality. Yeah. That's right, Rich. But I mean, the thing is I mean, I wouldn't even call that a new morality. That's like a depravity. You know, they were just trying to bring people to depravity. It's a lack of morality.
Yeah.
Get a girlfriend, Mark. I mean, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I think as well with LSD, when they first released it, they were hoping it was going to be like, so if you guys read Brave New World.
Yeah,
you know
Aldous
what happens?
Huxley. Yeah.
Yeah, Aldous Huxley, what happens in Brave New World, there's a world where there's a drug called Soma, and for their recreation time, they all just take Soma and forget everything. And
Yep.
no one has babies anymore. They all have birth control, and the babies are grown in bottles and shit like that. Yeah, no one has
Well-
babies anymore. I think they were trying to create Soma, and that's what they were testing LSD for, but they realized that they couldn't control it. It was getting out of control, so they then tried to make it illegal and put it back.
Oh,
But by then, people like the Brotherhood of Eternal Love had learned to make it, and it was out of the bag. They couldn't pull it back, and it became a whole revolution, didn't it?
I'm learning a lot about Alfred Hitchcock over here in the chat.
Yeah.
So much. Bit of a bore.
Yeah. Oh, you hear terrible things about him. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And I've got Elvis as well. Elvis, I see he groomed Priscilla. He was dating Priscilla before she was 18 and claims he didn't have sex with her.
Man,
Yeah, that was
but
claimed.
if you're
wasn't
going to do it like that, Elvis the
Yeah.
King, man, he
Yeah.
did it right, man. Took her
Yeah.
at 14,
Yeah,
made
yeah.
his dad her official guardian, you know,
Yeah,
paid
yeah,
her
yeah.
parents off, bought his house
Yeah.
all separate and stuff. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, you know, it was
And
what
then
it
he
was.
cheated on her, didn't he? Loads. He did actually cheat on her. So that song "Suspicious Minds" is really gaslighty, isn't it? Because
He
he's
had,
singing, "We can't go on together," but he was
he-
cheating on her the whole time.
He
Well, he was
had
probably divorced from her
issues.
by then, wasn't he, when that came out?
No, he wasn't divorced by her. Yeah, that came out
No,
in
no.
'69. They got divorced.
Oh
in
no,
like
yeah. There's
72.
a rockier version. There's a later version that I like better than the original, but the original one did come out in the 60s, didn't it?
Yeah, '69.
Yeah.
The really rocky one is the live one from.
Yeah, it's a
That's
live
the Way
one
It
from
Was.
Vegas. Is it Vegas?
Vegas,
And that's,
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Fire.
Whitney Houston's mum is singing with him in that
Correct.
performance as well. You
Yeah.
saw Whitney Houston's
Sissy
mum.
Houston.
Yeah. Sissy
Yeah.
Houston. Yeah.
Ronnie Tudd on drums, Jerry Schiff on
Oh,
bass.
should we try and watch
Bird
that?
on
See if
drums.
it probably won't let us watch the whole thing. It'll take the stream down.
Ban us. But let's
If
put it on.
if the stream goes down, just wait a couple of minutes. It does come back once the song stops playing.
For sure.
They'll tell us in the chat if it gets taken down. But I love that video. Yeah, they probably won't let us watch it for long.
I had an interview at the old International. It's now the West Point or the Westgate, but they have the Elvis suite where he lived when he had his whole residency there.
Mhm.
That's gonna
And
be it.
if it's not booked, they'll sometimes take you on a tour of it. It's the only hotel
Where is it?
room
Where is
in
it? Where is
Vegas
it?
that has a full size pool.
Nice. Elvis was the shit. Yeah, James, that was the thing. Elvis kind of had a hang up about mothers, women that had had kids. He didn't think it was proper for mothers to have sex after, you know, because they're supposed to be a mom. You're supposed to be pure for the kids. And yeah, she couldn't hang with that.
And he had a twin brother that died at birth, didn't he? Or was dead in the womb or whatever. That's the other weird thing about Elvis.
Jesse
And have you heard
Guerin.
this whole
Yeah,
thing
Jesse
about
Guerin.
his there's a whole thing now about his secret boyfriend. There was a bloke who was always with him that they kept quiet, and they reckon he might have had a boyfriend the whole time as well.
Elvis Memphis
Yeah.
Mafia.
Something like that. Yeah. Oh, there's also
Sounds like the studio version.
Oh, no, that ain't it, is it? That's not the one I wanted. Wait a sec.
It's not.
I can't walk out.
That's definitely
That-
Vegas era
that-
Elvis, though.
But that's
But-
not the one I was thinking of, though. Sorry, I've got to try and find the right one because
Yeah,
it'll
it's
stop
Saint's
it halfway
video.
through. Well, at least be watching the right one.
So it'd be Suspicious Minds, That's the Way It Is, 1970. Something like that.
Right. Elvis Presley. Yes, this is it. 11th of August, 1970. Dinner show. That's it, isn't it?
There
It's
you
gotta
go.
be. Yeah, this is it. This is it. He looks fucking terrible because he's obviously tired. He's halfway through the set. Yeah.
Can't walk up.
No, sure. This is it. No, this isn't the one I was thinking.
We're caught in a trap. I
No, it
can't
is. It
walk
is. It
out
is. Yeah.
Because I love you too much, baby.
No, if I just pause it for a minute, it might stop them taking us down. So act like we're giving commentary on it, yeah. And then if I start playing it again, we might be able to escape it taking us down.
The old workaround.
But yeah, just to say, yeah, because people were saying he sounds good, and in them days they couldn't auto-tune you or anything. So yeah,
No,
that's
auto-tune
really
didn't exist back then.
Nothing like that existed, yeah. But there was Octavia things, but that didn't do very much. Yeah, so.
It was his twin brother backstage actually singing.
When they were yeah, that's it. Yeah, he didn't die.
Well, the Octavia would be more of a guitar effect. That's like what Jimi Hendrix used on Machine Gun. They by the 70s they started having like the Eventide harmonizer, like the Robert Plant used in Zeppelin and stuff like that. But that still only doubled your vocal and did like octaves, kind of like an Octavia would.
I think they could take a recording of you and put it up a bit and stuff like that. But yeah,
you could speed up tape and stuff. But
they much to your live vocals now.
But if you're not in tune, you're not going to be tuned regardless.
Yeah,
like,
that's
unless,
it. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Go on together.
I'm just going to pause it you've got to keep pausing it, otherwise this is when they take the stream down if you play it for too long all at once. It's a really good, but I said about what drugs did he use. He was addicted to opiates because he had a bad back from the dancing he did, and karate apparently, or judo. He did a martial art. They reckon he fucked his back doing martial arts as well.
He liked getting high. Okay.
Yeah, as well, probably. Yeah.
That's what he liked, and I mean, in the army he started taking amphetamines, and then whenever he got to Hollywood,
and all musicians did. If you read about any of the musicians, because they didn't realize how bad for you long-term use of them was then.
In the availability
now,
and stuff.
Yeah, you got them from the doctor. You could get them from the doctor, literally.
And so by that point, by the point we were watching here, he was taking esketrol regularly, which is like which is dexedrine with an antipsychotic combined, and it's actually what Jeffrey McDonald was taking when he went nuts and killed his wife and 2 daughters and blamed it on hippies after reading about the Manson murders in Life magazine in like 1970. Yeah, early 1970s.
Say a gang of hippies came in and did it, did he?
Correct. Blamed it on a gang of hippies,
there is actually a guy who used sleepwalking as a defense for killing his wife as well and got it and actually got away with it. And that people find that hard to believe, but yeah. He killed his wife while sleepwalking. And it was something like he stabbed her to death or something. So how can you stab someone to death without waking up? You know what I mean? But he got away with it.
Was he seeing Jolly West for his problems?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
James Watson says he blames every bad thing he does on hippies. That's because hippies suck.
Hippies, they're everywhere. They want to save the earth, but all they do is smoke pot and smell bad.
Yeah.
So
what shy bastard?
And Capone.
Too much.
This is the best part too, where he goes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 42 instead of 33, 34, something like that. Yeah. Nice. Elvis.
Yeah, anybody who's an Elvis fan definitely should go check out the Westgate in Vegas at some point.
Love it.
Yeah.
Rondo Ortiz wants to know, is Jeffrey McDonald still in prison? Yes. Jeffrey is still at the FCI in Cumberland, Maryland. He'll never get out of prison. He's never admitted that he did what he did. He's still clinging on to that whole story that he's innocent. So he'll never get out.
What was I going to say? That was it. Yeah, whilst we were watching that, it suddenly occurred to me, the Manson family death list? That was never really an official list, though they talk about it like the police found a list. It actually comes from what Susan Atkins said to Virginia Graham.
Right.
And it's interesting, they never said Elvis, right? Tom Jones was on it, Frank Sinatra was on it, according to everyone. According to what Virginia Graham says. Not Elvis, though. What?
Oh, we just got Priscilla.
Yeah. Oh, what? They've done it already? Oh, they've done it. Oh, it comes back. Don't worry. If you don't end the stream, it does come back. They let the whole song play, though, by the sound of things. So the whole song played, then they took us down. It's ridiculous. Yeah,
Got hit. It's all right.
yeah, it does come back. Yeah, but I don't know why. Why does it let you play the song then take you down? It's ridiculous, isn't it?
I mean, you could say that we got caught in a trap.
Yeah,
Can't
yeah,
walk out. Cleaning up my file cabinet, I found this, which is something I wrote when I was an undergrad back in 2012. It's like fucking 200 pages. It's called The Power of Propaganda, a socially responsible look at Lenin, Manson, the FBI, and how I won the war. AKA, I'd love to turn you on, but the Federal Bureau of Information won't let me. And this is before I'd ever read, obviously, Chaos didn't exist at that time.
Mm.
And I hadn't read the Manson file or anything like that. And I just knew that the official narrative was bullshit. Well, this is like a big part of the theory that I tied in on this paper was Day in
Yeah.
Life got banned by
Yeah,
U.S. radio, and really what they were, that song's talking about is I saw a film today, oh boy, the English army had just won the war, 1,000 people turned away, but I just had to look, having read the book. What he's talking about is how I won the war and how he had heard from being in Hamburg and talking to Germans like Astrid Kircher and Jürgen Vollmer and Klaus and all this type of stuff that that they had a very different view of World War II and what had happened as compared to the official narrative. And that's kind of what that song was about. And the U.S. government said, or U.S. radio banned it, said we can't play that because of the overt drug references in the line, I'd love to turn you on. They had no problem, 2 years before in She's a Woman with she turns me on when I get lonely. Because it really had nothing to do with the whole drug angle. It had everything to do with shutting down any references to the war, to anything different than what had happened. And they didn't want people to see that movie, How I Won the War, which is where they came out with, oh shit, 6 months ago he said that the Beatles were bigger than Christ. Let's go with that and try to demonize them,
Yeah.
Christianity will go. It will vanish and shrink. I needn't argue about that. I'm right and I'll be proved right. We're more popular than Jesus now. John Lennon quoted in the London Evening Standard, March the 4th. Words which roused the Protestant fury of the American South as the Beatles began their tour of the States. In Chicago, Lennon apologized.
If it had said television is more popular than Jesus, I might have got away with it. But as I just happened to be talking to a friend, I used the word Beatles as a remote thing, not as what I think, as Beatles as though those other Beatles like other people see us. I just said they are having more influence on kids and things than anything else, including Jesus. But I said it in that way, which is the wrong way.
Well, some teenagers have said, have repeated your statements that the Beatles, I like the Beatles more than Jesus Christ. What do you think about that?
Well, originally I was pointing out that fact in reference to England, that we meant more to kids than Jesus did, or religion at that time. I wasn't knocking it or putting it down, I was just saying it as a fact. And it is true, especially more for England than here. But I'm not saying that we're better or greater or comparing us with Jesus Christ as a person or God as a thing or whatever it is. I just said what I said and it was wrong or was taken wrong, and now it's all this.
Yeah.
COINTELPRO, right?
Yeah, Arthur Lowe is in it as well. He's Dad's Army was. I doubt they showed that in America because it's too specifically British. But in World War II, the men that were too old to go, they called them the Home Guard, and they were armed. They were actually armed in case there was a land invasion and the Germans came. But they were all the men that were too old to go or too ill to go.
Nice.
And they did a comedy show, basically a situation comedy about the Home Guard in a town on the coast in the UK called Dad's Army. And Arthur Lowe was in that, and a lot of really famous comedians were in it, and it's a classic comedy. But I doubt they ever showed it in America because it's too specifically British. But during World War II.
James Watson says half of Chaos is bullshit. Yeah, James, but the cool thing about Chaos that isn't bullshit is how it just puts Vincent Bugliosi in the Helter Skelter narrative out on Front Street as being more bullshit than Chaos.
Yeah.
So that it's very valuable. The work that Tom O'Neill did was very valuable in that regard.
Yeah, and he's got people talking about the Canadians and the Pool Boy Mafia again. which kind of got swept under the rug for years.
And he's got another book
Yeah.
he's working on, so who knows what more information he's going to uncover and share. So I'd like to get him
So
on.
I wish he'd concentrated more on Tex rather than just Manson in his book, and hopefully he does a bit more in Chaos too.
Little Milky says Elvis's house parties were a gathering place for Hollywood dealers that knew the Manson family and the victims at CLO. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Elvis,
the MK Ultra part, that's the bit that everyone contests, isn't it, from Chaos, is the idea that somehow they brainwashed them before the murders or whatever,
No, okay,
so it with Chaos,
But you got to understand how MK Ultra worked and how the FBI worked. So they have handlers that would work with people specifically and send those people into these situations. So if there is an MK Ultra element to this, I think it's through Tex. Like Nancy says, we have to concentrate on Tex and look at Tex compared to looking at Manson. Was Manson the one that brainwashed him? No.
Yeah.
Did anybody brainwash them per se? No, but if the element
did
was
you
there,
need to brainwash them because the science, everything was so messed up around them anyway. You know what I mean? It was
and
getting
all the
ridiculous,
drugs,
wasn't it? Yeah.
And Tex was the one who kind of, he's the one that we were talking about who went insane. Look at what happened to him and how he was susceptible. Like, did the drugs cause that, or did they make him go insane? No, but did it make him open enough and vulnerable enough for them to just jolly him with the final blow and wipe it? Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I can totally believe that the federal government was giving them their acid through the Smiths.
Sure.
And Jolly, though, I can totally believe that.
Sure.
Just want to respond to what they're saying here. Sorry, if you talk about Dad's Army, I think there was an American sitcom that's about the American Army that was done in the 70s, weren't there? And is it Hogan's Heroes or whatever it was called?
Hogan's Heroes, where they were in a Nazi prison camp.
Right, or something. I think that might have been your answer to Dad's Army, sort of thing, because you wouldn't have had an equivalent of the Home Guard because you weren't threatened with a land invasion like we were in the same way, were you, sort of thing? So you didn't. They couldn't do your version of the Home Guard because you wouldn't have had one, really.
And it's not like they would have to have the Smiths personally deliver it, because you have the perfect scenario in these hippie communes where people aren't even using their real fucking names. And, oh, man, our past don't matter. My name's Sunshine, man. Here you go. So, I mean, looking at it, I think Tex might have been a plant of some sort. I think TJ the Terrible might have been a plant, the way he showed up and the way he was involved and, like, why he wouldn't pull the gun.
And then disappeared.
Disappeared and came back.
Yeah.
Why he wouldn't pull the gun on Bernard Crowe in that situation, because it was supposed to be TJ was supposed to pull the gun out from behind Manson.
Yeah,
and
Charlie says he took the gun, so he took TJ because TJ knew how to use a gun, because Charlie said, I didn't know how to use a gun. I'm used to fighting with my hands in the prison yard. I don't know how to use a gun. That's why I took TJ. And this is why there was an accidental discharge or whatever, because Charles Manson didn't know how to use a gun, supposedly, Yeah.
Correct.
What was based on Dad's Army? What would their answer to Dad's Army be? That's what I'm trying to work out, Mark Oliver, because they didn't have an equivalent of the Home Guard, did they? They can't have done something about the Home Guard. It's got to have been something like Hogan's Heroes or something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Bean Dip says Sergeant
Bob
Bilko.
Crane is from maybe. That's probably more like it. Yeah.
Bob Crane was also
in Hogan's Heroes, wasn't he?
Yeah, Bob Crane was in Hogan's Heroes. He was murdered in Hollywood porn ring shit, porn and drugs and sex trafficking. Go figure.
Yeah. Yeah, I found the pictures of him as well. Bloody hell, when I was looking into that, you can find the pictures of him, Well, he was literally, just lying in bed. And, it looks like they got him while he was asleep, basically, whoever did it. Doesn't look like he put up much of a fight. Like I say, he must have been asleep when they hit him.
Or drugged.
Maybe, yeah. The rear guard, that sounds, The American Civil Defense. So you did have something like the Home Guard then, the American Civil Defense, whatever that is, But it was not picked up to a series, Yeah,
Robbie, Tex was whacked out on drugs.
Yeah, definitely. That was what they officially diagnosed him as, basically, in layman's terms. Whacked out on drugs. Drug-based brain, one psychiatrist said. All right, Mikhail's Navy, wherever that is. Yeah, Danger of Madness. There probably is a TV movie of bloody Dad's Army as well, isn't there? I've got to sing you the theme tune to Dad's Army as well. Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler? If you think old England's done. So, oh, it's a World War II song there that they played on the radio. I can't remember who the fucking singer is. Mark probably knows.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run? We are the boys who will stop your little game. We are the boys who will make you think again. 'Cause who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done? Mr. Brown goes off to town on the A21, but he comes home each evening and he's ready with his gun. So watch out, Mr. Hitler, you have met your match in us. If you think you can crush us, we're afraid you've missed the bus. 'Cause who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think we're on the run? We are the boys who will stop your little game. We are the boys who will make you think again. 'Cause who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler, if you think old England's done?
Yeah, and it was a song, yeah, probably propaganda to recruit men to the Home Guard at the time as well, yeah.
Listen, James Watson, I'm going to tell you right now, Dr. Hook is underrated. It's good stuff.
Hmm.
Tex was a garbage head, Seacow. That's correct.
Yeah, yeah.
I would call what Cary Grant was doing
Yeah, yeah.
guarding the rear.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he breached the rear. It's the opposite of guarding it.
Yeah, yeah. Don't tell him, Pike. It's a famous line from yeah. Someone's captured them, and he asked him for his name, and the guy says, "Don't tell him, Pike," which is his name. Gives away his name immediately. And there was one of the actors was controversially died of an OD, a Cockney dude, and he's only in like the first 2 series or something of it, or the first series, but he died in real life. The guy who played the Cockney one. And John de la Mesure, his name's really hard to pronounce. He was in it as well, and he's an interesting bloke. He was married to Hattie Jakes, one of the fat women from the Carry On films. Basically, it's the best way to describe her.
No, I don't know about pirate bands, James Watson, but I'll tell you what, Clutch is an awesome band that's almost like heavy metal, Black Sabbath, riff rock, psychedelic mixed with sea shanties. Hey, James Watson, being old is better than the alternative, sir.
No, Mark's not old. Mark's not old enough to remember World War II. I'm pretty sure. No, he's
good
still
for my age too, you know. So.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not. I was born in fucking 81. Yeah.
See, I'm older than Nancy.
Considering all the psych stuff tonight lending itself to the chaos theories, what do you think about just the fact that by definition the Manson crew were seemingly highly suggestible personalities?
I mean, all the girls were walking, talking trauma responses, and so was Manson himself. You look at the childhood he had, he never really had a firm foundation on anything, and so he never really had a chance to develop his own personality. He lived in a constant state of fear.
Yeah.
And you'll hear him talk about that. Fear is awareness, that he learned to like it, and he stayed in that situation for so long and in so many different contexts that and so that's what
PTSD as well.
PTSD and CPTSD, which are two different diagnoses with two different,
They call it being hypervigilant. It's a PTSD symptom where you're hyper alert all the time as if someone's coming to attack you even when no one is going to.
And so that's who he's going to attract as well, in his life is people.
And the other thing about the girl's motive as well, that's the thing that gets me about Bobby when we're talking about Bobby, because I believe that Susan and Leslie wouldn't have gone if it weren't for Bobby. They were trying to free Bobby. And that's why they went, I think. That was their motive for going. And that's never been officially heard in court, has it? They said it at the penalty phase, but it's never been. And if Manson had to die in prison, arguably Bobby is as responsible for what happened as Manson. So why should he get out if Manson died in prison, And also Leslie, it was never taken into account that Leslie probably went because she was Bobby's girlfriend. She turned up with Bobby. she wasn't really that into Manson. In that footage, you saw her say, "I went to bed with him a couple of times, but I didn't consider him a lover." She wasn't that into Manson. It was Bobby she was into.
But Bobby didn't ask anybody to go and get him out either, so it's hard to hold him accountable.
Well, they say, don't they, that he said that he said leave a sign. He rang the ranch and said leave a sign or something like that, and they're saying it was that him giving them some kind of command.
So was Manson just repeating Bobby's command, like whenever you guys go, leave a sign, something witchy. You girls know what to do.
Yeah, and what Charles Manson's describing there sounds like hypervigilance as well. They call it hypervigilance, where you're in a constant state of high awareness. And when you're in a place like prison and someone could come and attack you at any minute, you are living like that constantly. You learn to live like that, don't you? That's it. Well, I think Bobby and Bruce have got more chance than Krumwinkle and Tex, but who knows? Who knows really? I don't think Bobby should because of the aspect of the Save a Brother thing, and if Charles Manson had to die in prison, he should too, I think. But and just for what he did as well, obviously, because Gary Hinman was their friend, and they tortured him to death slowly. He didn't die quickly, did he? And he had no money anyway. It was a mess. They got it wrong that he had money, and it was just a mess, wasn't it?
Rhonda, you're asking, didn't Squeaky also have a tough childhood? Yeah, well, they all kind of did, and that was part of the thing that he was looking for. Like they all kind of had that unprocessed trauma aspect.
There's an FBI report, the one that's labelled Dean Morehouse, but there's actually very little about Dean Morehouse in it. It's actually mainly about Lynette and Sandy. And there's a lot about Lynette's childhood. And from what they describe of her behaviour when she was a teenager, I think nowadays she'd be diagnosed as ADHD. She had ADHD, and her dad didn't know. No one knew how to handle ADHD in them days, so he just kept punishing her for her behaviour unfairly because you can't control it if you have ADHD. But in them days, the ADHD hadn't even been discovered yet, so she had no chance of getting diagnosed with it. But I think that she possibly had ADHD as a teenager. And girls can grow out of it, so she might not have had it later when she was in prison and being tested for all this sort of shit. But it sounds like she possibly had ADHD and her dad just handled it badly. But in them days, they didn't know any different. So, can you really blame her dad? But her dad was overly strict with her and blanked her when she behaved a certain way. Like someone said he wouldn't talk to her at certain times and all that sort of thing,
Well, yeah,
and in the end, did apparently kick her out the house. That's why Charles Manson found her. She was sat crying on a bench because her dad had kicked her out. So, yeah.
I mean, all of those kids that they found in San Francisco before they even moved to LA, that just any of those hippie kids were damaged.
Susan Atkins, her mom had died when she was young. She was already prostituting, dancing topless, and
shoplifting
hanging out with
as well.
Anton LaVey and the Satanists. And
Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard, she hung out with them.
Right.
Yeah. Janis Joplin as well. And we know what drughead Janis Joplin was. She lived in the same building. Her and Ella J. Bailey lived in the same building just across the hallway from Janis Joplin for a little while.
It's crazy. Yeah. And no wonder everybody kind of distanced themselves. Robbie Tedford says Linda Kasabian should have been charged as well. Charged with what?
Yeah.
She was given immunity.
Yeah. Well, have you watched the stream I did about Mary Brunner as well? That's actually quite shocking when you read Mary Brunner's police interview. She's another one that really... Considering Susan spent her whole life in prison, well, she did TLB as well. She was convicted of TLB.
Oh yeah, no, Mary Brenner should have been.
She was as involved as Hinman as Susan was. She deserved what Susan got for Hinman, but she didn't get that. She got immunity. Yeah, and the prosecution regretted giving her immunity when they realised they thought she wasn't as involved as she was. They didn't realise how involved she was when they gave her the immunity. They regretted it and stuff like that.
Wasn't Mary involved in the?
They suffocated him at the end. They had to smother him with a pillow and that, didn't they? And she admitted she robbed his wallet as well after he was dead. She was the one that... And she advised Bobby how to hotwire the car as well. Stuff like that.
Wasn't she part of the attempted prison breakout and the gun?
Yeah, she eventually did go to prison for that. That's all she ever went to prison for, wasn't it? And she didn't do that long compared to the others, obviously. Yeah.
It's crazy, but it's true. Yeah, they were all damaged.
Yeah, that's it. Mary is really lucky to be free. Yeah.
And so you look at it as a laws of attraction thing. You will always attract either what you are or the lessons that you need to learn. And so there was kind of a similar brokenness to all those people. that needed healed. So instead of working on it and healing it, they just kind of banded together and enabled that and fed off of it.
Yeah, and like if you listen to Ella J. Bailey's, it's really hard to hear it. I've got to try and transcribe it so you can just hear what the important thing she says. But Bill Vance was helping them get away. If they wanted to run away, Ella J. Bailey ran away before the Hinman thing because she realised it was getting too nasty and they were going to start killing people. So that also shows that Krenwinkel, because Krenwinkel had been with him as long as Ella Jo as well. And also at his second trial that you don't hear about, when Ella Jo Bailey testified, Manson had to be taken out of the court because he was so angry she was testifying against him. He couldn't contain himself. He had to sit and listen through speakers in another room while she was testifying. And all that sort of thing. It's
Yes, Kathy, they were crazy bitches. That's
yeah.
the technique.
But also they had an opportunity to get out though. Bill Vance was helping them to escape if they wanted to. And Paul from Paulcast found a thing about, I have not followed up on it yet, but Bill Vance was trying to set up his own little harem of women. That's why he took Ella Jo. But the girls who went to the murders could have escaped if they wanted to as well. They did have a way out. Bill Vance would have helped them escape, but they didn't. So that's another thing that makes me feel a bit less sorry for them. Because they did, if they must have been so into it that they totally believed in the Helter Skelter race war or whatever, you know. Ella Jo was the only one that took the escape. You know, all the rest of them stayed and did the murders.
Well, yeah, Rich, you're absolutely right. You look at it, the girls were really the ones in charge. They were the ones running the show.
Yeah. I think that they were telling Tex what to do that night as well. I think he was so
Absolutely.
fucked up. They were just saying, oh, this one's still moving. Tex, run over to this one. You know, they were shouting commands at him. I don't think he was in control that night. I don't think he was telling them what to do. I think it was really the other way around.
Linda was probably in charge of that whole operation from what it sounds like.
Yeah. And at the penalty phase, you get Susan saying she did come in the house as well.
What'd Tex say in trial? Well, somebody told me to shoot him. Wasn't Linda.
Yeah, no, it's in his psychiatry report. Yeah, no one had even mentioned Linda. Why did he have to say that? Yeah, he's obviously been told don't implicate Linda. And there's a bit that's redacted as well in his psychiatry report. That's where he's saying something about Linda as well, and shit like that. Oh, I've found as well. There's a setting in StreamYard, Jeremy, where we can stream it to your channel as well. If I'd have to add your channel as a destination or something, so this could be going on your channel, and then you've got your own recording of it. Yeah.
Sweet.
Just straight on your channel, yeah. But the only thing is, in the YouTube editor, you can't add clips to it. You can only cut bits off. So it's better to have it. But you can download it and do what you want with it, and then yeah.
Works out. I love it. Yeah, it's StreamYard's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, it is mental. The amount of contradictions that you hear as well, and it's like, I think Susan was just still high as fuck. I think it took her many years to come down from the drugs. I think she was still just crazy from the drugs, you know, for a long time, and she was just spouting rubbish for a long time, you know. And people shouldn't have really been writing it down and publishing what she was saying because she was, you know, woo-woo at the time, like, yeah.
I mean, I think she was fed a bunch of that as well. It was concocted.
Well, lots of time alone with lawyers, weren't there? The lawyers in that penalty phase, she talks loads about how Caballero kept taking her out to his office. She was taken out of prison to his office a lot and all this sort of stuff. And people speculate she might have shagged Bugliosi even and stuff like that. So yeah, when Bugliosi came to Caballero,
wouldn't put it past him.
Stuff like that, yeah. He took Linda Kasabian out to dinner, apparently, didn't he?
Of course he did.
She got a Chinese meal, yeah. And I'm pretty sure
in character
Susan
for all
says,
of them.
yeah. Susan says they bought her takeout food as well while she was at Caballero's office. She had takeout food brought in for her and stuff like that, yeah.
Susan was doing drugs while in jail. Yeah, Milky, they all were. They were tripping on acid in the holding cell and stuff and in court.
Yeah. We've been going an hour now.
Sorry, I'm eating my dinner. Yeah, I probably ought to get off before long.
Yeah.
Finish my food.
Yeah, excellent. Right. I'll see you next week then. Thanks for coming, guys.
Ramble in a desert blind. Whispers of a twisted mind. Found paradise in hell. tell. Children of a broken dream followed his unholy scheme. Promised lands through bloody hands, swept beneath the devil's plan. Manson shadows on the wall, creeping closer to the fall. Twisted preacher in the night, spreading chaos with delight. Desert nights in eerie chance, serpent's eyes in a devil's glance. Heaven's shattered by his word, preaching madness so absurd. Hope crushed in wicked fire, lost soul swayed by desire. In the dark they found their king, caught in webs his lies would bring. Children's laughter turns to cries, echoes of the night's disguise. Promises of pain and change,